Unlike yesterday's episode, today we're going to talk about companies that actually exist. Investor Beat starts now. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Hill, joined in studio by Jason Moser. Do you think everyone knew yesterday was April Fool's Day?
I gotta believe it, but I kind of I feel like maybe we could talk. It's like a what's Wall or where's Waldo, right? Every day, maybe we could throw in a fake company and see if you can spot it, right?
I hope our friends up in Canada appreciated the tribute with the Halifax Stock Exchange. The doctored photo courtesy of our producer, Heather Horton.
What did you call that? The Gillies Index?
The Gillies 100 Index. I'm just
Jim.
suggesting if Canada wants to spice up their stock market, the Gillies 100, we're giving that to you, Canada. Let's talk about actual companies, as I said at the top. We could talk about the S&P 500 hitting another all-time high, but that seems to be happening every other day. Big news today, though. Amazon.com unveiled a $99 video streaming device called Fire TV. We've been talking about Apple TV and certainly Google's got the Chromecast. Roku is out there.
Yep.
One more player in this market.
One more device.
Now, to be fair, you look at the stock, it's not like it's shooting up to the moon on this news, but I guess we shouldn't be surprised that they're doing this.
No, I'm not surprised that they're doing this. When you look at just this market for the streaming devices, this is a robust and growing market, and basically it's been kind of, Apple TV and Roku for as long as we've known it. And so Amazon's jumping in on that. It's going to see some robust growth here. This streaming device is going to grow about 25% or so this year, and as smart TVs continue to gain share in the home, those streaming devices are really easy to buy, set up, and just boom, you're done. With Amazon, this is not going to be, I think, any kind of a big top line or bottom line moneymaker for that matter. It will be interesting to see kind of how they do this because, on the one hand, you want to get something, like it seems like the answer here is to be able to get one device that just does virtually everything for you. And this is not that device yet. It's still limited in what it offers you. If I understand correctly, HBO Go is not on there. But on the other side of the coin, it serves as a gaming console as well, and you can add a complimentary gaming device controller for like an extra $40 or something. So it has some things that other devices don't have. I think the voice recognition could be really cool. That could certainly be a game changer. But yeah, I don't think this is anything that's going to be like the answer to any Amazon investors' prayers.
Let's look ahead a couple of months to the next earnings report from Amazon. I want you to think about the conference call because Amazon plays their cards very close to the vest. What's the one thing you really want to hear a little bit more information on? Is it something like this? Is it drone delivery? As a curious investor, what do you want to hear out of Jeff Bezos?
I think the streaming devices and drones are all the sexy sort of operative words people want to hear more about. But for me, really, it just all boils down to Prime memberships. I think if we could get more clarity, some actual hard concrete numbers from one of those calls on either number of Prime memberships or money brought in from Prime memberships, and we know they just raised the price of the Prime membership here, I think $20. So that'll be something I think that stokes some growth there for the company. I don't think they'll see many people dropping that Prime membership. That's a big lever that this company uses to pull, and I'd like to hear more about it.
All right, let's move on to Buffalo Wild Wings and the stock up more than 70% over the last year or so. They're having their Analyst Day today and shares are falling. We're not getting a lot of information out of that room so far. We weren't invited. I don't know why. But but when you look at Buffalo Wild Wings, we were talking before we started taping here. You said, look, this is a stock that it's not cheap.
No, it's not cheap. And, it's one of those where I'm kind of torn. I like the business. I like their product. Wings and beer. They do wings really well. But it's not a cheap stock by any means. And I think that the market is starting to look at what comes next for Buffalo Wild Wings. And what I mean by that is they are well more than halfway through to their sort of target store footprint here in North America. I think they have this goal of 1,700 or so. They're well more than halfway through there. And so the market is starting to look at this and saying, okay, what comes next? What's the next growth lever this company pulls? And so one thing we know they're doing, they made this small investment in a little pizza joint called Pizza Rev. We were seeing Chipotle try to take advantage of that pizza market too. So that's a market that certainly is out there for the taking in sort of that fast casual market. So, I like Buffalo Wild Wings, the business. I think that they have a very loyal, fan base, so to speak. but it's not a buy at any price stock. And I think at 40 times earnings today, you're just going to find better opportunities out there. It's one worth being on the watch list, but I certainly would not be buying it today.
All right, Liquidity Services falling today after it was determined the winning bid that it had for a government contract ended up being much higher than it expected. Is this a one-off situation? Because that sounds like the type of error that if that's repeatable on any level, that alone scares me away from this stock.
Right, and I mean, it's all about the negotiation skills, right? You want to make sure this management team has that down. And for the most part, I think it does, actually. If you look at what this company's done since 2009, top-line sales have more than doubled. I mean, that's really significant when you look at basically what they're doing is they're helping liquidate all of the surplus stuff from the Department of Defense and other sort of federal contracts. So, you know, on the one hand, they make a lot of their money from those government contracts, so they're very tied to that. The counter to that, though, it's pretty nice, consistent, reliable revenue. So I think this is a one-off. And when you look at what the company's done over the past 5 years, you consider the fact it's got a very healthy balance sheet, and not to mention about a third of the shares out there today are sold short, which means I think those shorts are pushing the stock price down a little bit further. I think that could be a catalyst for this stock to pop here in the near future with any kind of decent news coming across the wire. And so I'm going to tell you right, I went into my caps profile on Fool.com and I gave this one the green thumbs up because I think this one is just beaten down far beyond where it should be.
All right, that's going to do it for today's action. Give me a stock I can put on my watch list.
Well, we're seeing some news out there about Apple looking at potentially buying a chip maker. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's Renesas or whatever. It's a Japanese chip maker. The deal size is rumored to be around $1 billion if it goes through.
Drop in the bucket.
A drop in the bucket for Apple when you have $1 gazillion on the balance sheet to begin with. But I think this makes a lot of sense, really, because Apple has hit sort of that next stage of its life where it has to focus more. It's going to be less about growth and really more about just kind of keeping the status in their market and being able to continue to bring that superlative hardware that they've always been able to bring. And so this will make them a bit more vertical. It gives them a little bit more control over that production environment. And these chips are supposed to be energy-saving chips. So it basically is the kind of chip that will help give your iPhone more life, more battery power. And I think everybody can get behind that.
All right, for Jason Moser, I'm Chris Hill. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.